Assalamu alaikum. In today's video I'm making Somali flatbread called Muufo, and these are the ingredients you'll need. You'll need around 2 teaspoons of sugar, use brown or white, 3 cups of plain white all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of dry yeast, 1 cup of maize flour or cornmeal flour, around a teaspoon of salt, or a bit less, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm using this pan because I don't have a mixing bowl. I always forget to buy one, but it's okay, it'll work just fine. I'm going to put in first the 1 cup of the cornmeal or the maize flour. So 1 cup. I'm using this small cup to measure everything. Next I'm adding 2 cups of water, around 2 cups of water. Next to go in is 2 teaspoons of the dry yeast. Next to go in is about 2 teaspoons of sugar. So we're going to mix this all together thoroughly. Okay, make sure you use warm water when you're making this, not hot water or cold water. It has to be warm to activate the yeast. So now I'm just going to leave this for 10 minutes just to let the yeast activate before adding anything else next. And I've put its lid on it as well for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes and I'm just adding in now the 3rd cup. So you're adding 3 cups of all-purpose plain flour. Next to go in is around a teaspoon of baking powder. Next to go in is around 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to mix all this together thoroughly by hand. Mix it very thoroughly. Okay, I can already tell that the dough is too thick. It's like bread dough. You want the dough to be somewhere between bread dough and cake mix. So I'm going to add a bit of water bit by bit. I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup first, see how it goes, and then I might add in a bit more depending on how thick it gets. In total I've added about 2.5 cups of water and I've mixed it together thoroughly for like 5 minutes. And this is the consistency you want, somewhere between the cake mixture and bread dough. Very sticky mixture like this. This is what you want. So I'm just going to beat this for a couple of more minutes, mix everything thoroughly together, and then I'm going to put a lid on it and put it in a warm cupboard for 2 hours to let the dough rise. Okay, now the bread dough is ready. I'm just going to put a lid on it and I'm going to put it in a warm cupboard for 2 hours to let the dough rise. Okay, it's been around 2 hours and our dough is ready. It's very sticky. I've got my pan going on medium heat. I'm going to put in a little bit of sunflower oil and I'm going to grease the pan with sunflower oil. Now to be able to handle the dough that's sticky, you need a bowl of water, and you need to put your hands in the bowl of water. Make sure your hands are properly wet, like this, so you can handle the dough easier. So get your hands proper wet, and then you just take a whole handful of the dough. You take a whole handful, you get your dough, and you slowly, with the 2 fingers, you slowly just spread it out on the pan. In the middle, like this. Slowly spread it out. Okay, when you spread it out a bit like that, you just put a lid on it. You let it cook for 2-3 minutes, and then we're going to turn it around. Now I'm going to be serving my Somali bread Muufo with this red lentil, chickpeas and spinach soup I made. It's like a soup or curry. I'm going to be serving it with this. I made this in a separate video. You want to watch it. Okay, after a couple of minutes, while the top is still a bit wet like this, you want to flip it over. Okay, I flipped the bread over, and I'm going to put the lid back on for a couple of minutes. You can make the bread any size you want. This one's quite small, you can make it a bit bigger. I'll show you the next one. I'll make it a little bit bigger than this. Okay, after a few minutes, I flipped it back again because I want the other side to have a nice golden brown color like this. So I'm going to put the lid back on, and it'll be ready in a minute or two. Okay, I made the second one larger, and I made sure my hands are very wet so I can easily just spread it out like this. Once it's spread out like this, put the lid back on. I'll just give you the first one I made a taste test. It tastes really nice. It's very soft. The bread is very soft inside. It's very nice flavor. I just cut it in half to check it's cooked in the middle and everything. It's nice and dry in the middle. And here is the second one I made. It's much larger. You can make it any size you wish. The bread is really soft. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my videos. Assalamu alaikum. Goodbye.